Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I sort of realised I haven't really thought much about Madonna since her birthday. There's been a few things happen. Start off with, I guess, they released music, the remixes, on basically all streaming platforms. Now, I had a quick look at this, and basically, I don't know what it's like in America on iTunes, but in Australia, there's one remix package with 9 remixes from the likes of HQ2, Calderone, Tracy Young, Deep Dish, Groove Armada. I think they were all the original ones. They're supposed to be the original remixes, but when I actually had a look at my little CDs, the covers I still have, because in Australia they released 2 music remix, or music singles with remixes. So they had the album version, and then 6 remixes on one, and 6 on the other, and then the second one had the music video and screensavers and stuff like that. So there was 12 remixes, as well as the album version released on 2 CDs. But they've only got 9 on the digital package, and I had a look, and some of them are the same ones, but some of them aren't the right lengths and so forth, so I'm not quite sure. I don't know how many editions, how many versions they did, how many remixes they did in the US, how many releases that they did. So maybe this was one, and then they had another second one, and then maybe we got those broken up. I don't know. But it's interesting. I didn't buy it because I have all of the remixes, as far as I can tell, that are on there. But I'm going to have a closer look at it, because I thought I had them all, but now I'm thinking maybe they are slightly different versions. So it's kind of hard because like when Vogue came out, I bought it right away because I had it on cassette. So I never had the CD. I never saw the CD of the single. And so all my CDs basically were transferred to digital, but my cassettes, because I've got some Madonna cassettes from the 80s and the 90s, none of them, although most of them are the same as the CDs, but some of them that are different, I don't have them because I wasn't able to convert them. So I rushed out and bought Vogue, but I didn't rush out and buy this. I'll have a closer look and work out what the history of the singles are on that, and maybe I'll buy it, or I'll probably buy it anyway, because I plan to buy all her singles and all her albums on digital, even though I've got them on cassette, because I do want to help contribute to, you know, her streaming sales and that. It's not really enough as a fan to buy the CD 20 years ago and then just hold on to that forever. You kind of have to do a little bit more than that to help support the Queen. Even though she pisses me off sometimes, I still am a fan and I will support her, so I will buy it. But it's $13.99, and I'd rather buy Dua Lipa's remix album for $17 than a bunch of music singles I've already got that I've had for a bunch of years. But I'll get it later on. Like, I'm slowly sort of adding them to my collection, so I'll get it eventually. Now, the next big thing that I saw, because I saw this, I just thought, it's just a rumour. Daily Mail had an article about how Julia Garner, who is in, I think, a TV series called Ozark, which I've never seen, they're considering her to play Madonna in a biopic, because back in the day there was a biopic called Blonde Ambition that Universal was going to be making. Universal was in relation to Interscope and Madonna and all that back then, so that seemed kind of a bit betrayy, but I don't know what that was about. It was going to be written by Elise Hollander, and it was in 2017. Madonna was not happy. She did a rather hilarious tweet where she said how read some of the script that she got, because the script apparently was online. I didn't manage to get a copy back in the day, and I didn't care enough to really chase it. She was reading it, and she was like, "You made a mistake." And then someone actually pulled up some footage and showed that Madonna was actually wrong. But, you know, stuff like that happens, you know, like, you can't remember everything that you said and did, especially in the media. If you've been in the media for 20 or 30 years, you're going to mess up some interviews or misremember them or get them wrong in the first place and then remember them factually and then forget that you lied back in the day. I don't know. So it was kind of entertaining when that happened. But I didn't think it would really happen, because there's just, the studios are stupid, and they think that women can't sell anything. They think that no one will go see a Madonna movie. I mean, they'll make a movie about Prince. They've made movies about Michael Jackson. They, of course, made the big screen ones about Elton John and Freddie Mercury and that. So they'll do it with men because, the patriarchy. But I just didn't see it happening, and it hasn't happened yet. It's been 2 years. Now, the idea of her doing one herself, I think is a good idea. I actually would have said to her, if I ever spoke to her, just write your own damn autobiography now. Don't wait until you're dead and retired, basically, to do it. Do it while you're active and just have your say. Basically do your version of it, because other people are going to do it anyway. You may as well just steal their thunder. And it's like she tends to avoid the past and just focus on the future and the present and the future, and she tends to ignore her past career and her past achievements and stuff. And I was always of the thought you should just do it, just celebrate it while you're in it. It doesn't mean you're going backwards or stopping, and you're not going to go forward. It's not the end. I think she seemed to see it as the end of her career or something if she talked about it in the past tense or something. I don't know. There's just something weird fans, I think, noticed about her, that she really avoided a lot of stuff. But she's been going back and looking at In Bed with Madonna and stuff like that. She went to a screening for the 20th anniversary and stuff like that. And she seems to be making a peace with, the past. So it's interesting. Now, there's a lot of people talking about, there's no official word, there's a lot of people talking about her doing a biopic because she basically put up a bunch of pictures of her with journals from 1978 through to the early 80s, and pictures of her in the 80s. So, and unfortunately, there's already been 2 films about Madonna. The Breakfast Club, which is part documentary, part film. I still haven't seen that. I forgot all about it. I just remembered it was actually made. I was waiting for it, and then I forgot about it and never found it. That came out in 2019, so I'm going to have to go find that. And there was another movie called Innocence Lost, and they all cover the same period. Madonna going to New York, struggling, and getting a start, which is cool, but obviously there's a lot more to Madonna's career than just her getting started, and it's already been covered. I think she should just kind of skip most of that because it's being covered by other films, and just go straight to the more interesting periods of her career, like the Virgin years, the Blonde Ambition era, and just focus on those. Just sort of go from the beginning of her career, because we've got the pre-career done, go to the beginning of her career and just go through to sort of through a heyday, and then just leave it off where there's enough to do a second chapter, because she's going to keep going. So that's the other problem with Madonna. Other people, they had a career, they popped up, they did a bunch of stuff, and they went away, and it was very easy for people to go back and do a movie about their career because their career was kind of done. Madonna has never been done. She just keeps going, even though she's sort of sliding down at the moment with Madame X and the Madame X tour and her injuries and stuff like that, and her inability to tour anymore and stuff like that, which is going to really hurt her because she doesn't really sell singles anymore. She doesn't even want to, apparently, so she doesn't even try to. She didn't even do a video for Levitating. I mean, that's how little she cares about having another pop hit. So I think she should just focus on those eras. But yeah, like I was saying, there's this idea that you can't do a story about Madonna because her story hasn't finished yet. So it's a bit tricky because where do you stop it? Do you stop it at her having a family and sort of, because I think she kind of changed then, and then sort of the next era, there's sort of like a big sort of change there, I felt? Or do you sort of go through to the end of her touring career and sort of assume that she won't really tour after Madame X because of her injury and that, and it won't be like the stadium sort of like, is this sort of era of her mass sort of popularity and appeal over, and now it's like this is like another phase? Like, where do you stop the movie? It's not so much where you start. You kind of have to start from going to New York. I don't think they should dwell on it and spend the whole film on that era because it's been done twice before, and even though someone else did it, it's still been done. We know the basics. Just whatever you didn't like, just fix those couple little things, show those couple little things that were done wrong, and then move on and get straight into your actual career. That's what I'm worried about. This film is just going to focus on, the young girl sort of, finding, just, I can just see, I can just sort of see, especially with, what is her name? Diablo, who did Juno. I can sort of see them dwelling too much on Madonna's years in New York and that era, and it's been done before, we've seen it before. I just want to see what was happening behind stage, backstage, behind the scenes during the Virgin tour, when she really was getting started and really getting a grip of the world and, dominating it, and then, ruling over it in the 90s. That's what I want to see. I think that would be far more interesting. And if Madonna's going to be honest about herself and the raging bitch narcissist she is, she could have a lot of fun if she's just could be honest about who she was in those years. She could just, it would be awesome to just see just the drama and viciousness that would have gone through her absolutely dominating every element of like the music industry in those decades. It'd be amazing, but I don't think she's going to do it. That's the reason why sometimes you need someone else to do a film about you, why it's not wise to do your own film. If you're honest, it can be accurate and it can be brilliant. But if you're, a raging egotist who has to be right about everything and do things their way, so I really don't know if Madonna doing her own biopic is a good idea. I don't know if that's the same for every artist. I think some artists can be objective and like talk about themselves. And although Madonna allowed herself to be photographed honestly for Truth or Dare, whether she can tell the truth about herself is a whole another thing. So there's so many issues with this. Are they doing the biopic? Are they casting this lady? What era is it going to cover? Will it be honest? Is she going to dish the dirt on herself and just revel in her own controversy and that, which she might do. She might be quite capable of doing that quite well, but she may also just totally do her version of it, which no one wants to see someone's idealized version of themselves on screen. It's, it's a bit toxic. But yeah, and then the other thing Madonna seems to have done that of note is she's been a bit upset by Coco. She called Coco about like her birthday, like, are you getting ready to get me something for my birthday? And apparently Coco didn't get her anything for her birthday, so she was very disappointed. And Coco had nothing to say. It was a bit sad. I don't know why she wanted to see that conversation. I felt like a bit of an invasion of Coco's privacy, and I guess she just wanted to shame her publicly. That's just the kind of person Madonna is. Apparently she likes to shame her own dog. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, she did have a Rick and Morty top on, hoodie on, which I found a little bit interesting. I didn't think Madonna liked sci-fi. I seem to recall when she was a kid, she watched Rowan Martin's Laughing instead of Star Trek. So I was always kind of hurt personally by that. Like, that really got me, because I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and the idea that back in the day she'd rather watch that than Star Trek. But I guess would explain why she hasn't been in any science fiction movies or done any science fiction themed videos really, except bedtime stories is about it. That's one thing I'd like Madonna to do, something horror and something sci-fi. She's ignored the genres her whole career. She's ignored the genres. She's just stuck to music, comedy. And the other thing people are talking about, people are suggesting that the film is going to be a musical. And that would be very interesting, because it would get around a lot of detail and you can get through a lot more by doing that. So that could be interesting. But yeah, there's just so much speculation and so much, no one knows what's happening. But I thought she was writing a biography on someone else, and she was just going back through her journals because she maybe was researching that person back in the day because she wanted to write about them or was just interested in them. And so but then I looked at it and thought, it looks like she's doing a biopic, but I thought that's a bit too to Madonna admitting defeat. Like, okay, my career's over, I may as well write my biography. It didn't immediately really strike me that could be a reality. But they've been talking about they need someone to cast. They need a casting director. They showed a picture of her adjusting some lighting, like they were filming something. So I don't know what that was. She's just trying to be mysterious, and I guess she's doing a good job. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm patient. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Well, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm not going to let this video go to 15 minutes. Feel free to comment. Comments are fun. If anyone knows anything about this, let me know, because I haven't been able to find a lot of stuff on this, the biopic rumours and the casting rumours and stuff like that. I mean, Madonna's put enough out herself, but you know, sometimes I find, you know, the more interesting stuff comes from the fans and the people on the side and people leaking stuff from, you know, just off screen. But I'm gonna go. Thanks.